What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, I want to talk about Runi, and we haven't talked about Runi in a while because there hasn't been anything to talk about. It's still not in the game yet, and yes, I know that is frustrating. I'm just as frustrated as you guys, but I don't know if you've checked the floor price recently, and this thing has started to creep up. I mean, we are sitting at essentially 0.28 Ethereum, which is significantly higher than when we were below the initial minting price for those with the whitelist, maybe just a couple of weeks ago. So, you know, there's only 3,500 Runi, 3,521 to be exact. And what I wanted to think through today is, where will all of this utility lead to? Because this 3521 is definitely not a final number. It is final in terms of the amount that have been minted, but we do know that there's going to be at least some combining, or I forgot what they call it, restructuring of your Runi, right? You're going to have to burn one Runi and essentially combine all the parts that you want into the next. So that means we're going to have less than 3521, because I'm sure there's going to be at least one person that does it, potentially even more if there's going to be benefits for burning your Runi. So 3,500, we'll just say 3,500 to keep it nice and easy. Well, what is the other utility that we are going to see, or that has been discussed at the very least for now, right? Guilds. Now, guilds, I was looking at this, and I would say that the top 100 at the very least guilds are relatively serious. I mean, we see them all with decently leveled up town halls, but you could probably even go down and make an argument that the top 200 guilds, for example, I'm seeing a lot of names here that I might recognize from certain things. Like, look at this, Immortal God 7 is at level, is number 207. And I'm saying that because I know Immortal Gods as a whole is, as an alliance, maybe we can call them, is relatively serious about the game. So getting Immortal God 7 all the way up to the top would probably be one of their goals too, at least in the long run. So I don't know, let's just say 200 guilds, maybe 250. How many Runi will you be able to use on your guild or in your guild for whatever buildings or things they throw up in the future? Is it just one? That's 250 right there. Is it 2, 3, 4? You see what I'm getting at? Okay, so now all of a sudden, like we're talking about a significant amount, because it's like, well, if you can stake 2 Runi or 3 Runi, I mean, we're talking about anywhere from like 15 to 20% of all Runi would be just going to guilds, right? The other side of that, and I don't have a page to show you, is land. Now, think about land and how expansive and massive they want it to be. If we talk about this just from the highest level, there's 150 regions, meaning that there are 150 castles. So let's say you can only stake Runi on a castle. Well, that would eat up 150. But what if they wanted to have a little bit more utility for them, and maybe you'd be able to stake them on a keep? And keep in mind that there are 10 keeps within each region, right? I guess it's 10. I guess it would be 9 keeps and 1 castle. But either way, we're talking about 1,500 Runi then, which is almost half. So the question then becomes, well, if there's going to be all these opportunity to use Runi, how valuable will it be at that point in time? And more specifically, at least more interesting for me, is how many will you actually see in-game and playing? Because I'm assuming if you're staking it in your guild, or staking it on land, or staking it with whatever other mechanism that they put in the future. Because keep in mind, going back to guilds, it may not just be guilds. What if there's an opportunity to stake them in guilds or in alliances, right? If that pops up in the future. I mean, that might be more of a Runi sink, if we can call it that, or at least a place to stake your Runi. So, I don't know what that's going to look like. And I do think that we're probably a year or so away. I want to give them I'd probably say give them all of 2023 to really get Runi up and running, mainly because I don't think land is going to come until the second half of 2023. But it's going to be interesting in terms of what that does overall to the value of Runi, especially for people who are, trying to seriously level up in the gaming and maximize their rewards, maximize their earnings, or maximize just whatever they get benefits, right? Benefits from guilds, land, alliances, and who knows what else might be thrown into the mix. So looking at it now, 3,500 Runi is actually it doesn't seem like very much when you're looking at just how much land there is. Because keep in mind, what if you can stake it? What if I get a common desert and I want to stake my Runi on my common desert? I mean, we're talking about 150,000 land plots. There's not even close to enough for everybody, right? So, and out of what we're holding, like I have 3 Runi myself. I know several people who have multiple Runi. You can see here that it's 41% unique owners. So there's a significant amount of people who hold multiple Runi. So, again, this is not financial advice. I'm not trying to say invest in a Runi. I'm just saying that what's interesting is to see that, the value of them has gone up. I think there's a lot of people who are looking at this as a very long-term play. Again, not from an investment standpoint, but just as a game standpoint. I think people realize that, well, if the team can deliver on Runi, make them not only playable in game, but they do upgrade their guild structure. They do upgrade, or at least launch land over the next 12 months. Well, there could be some interesting use cases for Runi. And again, Runi is unique because they want to do even more with it in terms of, let's say they have some kind of battle pass or membership, as Matt had talked about, and Weirdbeard had talked about the battle pass, but maybe those will be combined or intertwined where you get a discount or maybe free membership. Maybe you get free membership, free entrance to live events or things like that. Who knows what they might have in the future, but we do know that they want to try and drive as much value to Runi as possible. So seeing the floor price creep up doesn't surprise me. I think, I'm surprised at how quickly it did, because this definitely feels like a very bearish time. But over time, I'm curious to know, or I'll be curious to see how January pans out. And when I say that, I'm talking about the end of December. They've said that they're going to go back and do a lot of brainstorming, planning, redo the whole roadmap and figure out when they can actually deliver things. So January could be full of announcements in terms of like dates and expectations on when things will actually be coming out. And, I'm sure some of us will be upset with if there's any further delays or whatever the case is, but at least we'll be getting an updated timeline at that point of where the team is thinking they can deliver certain elements, right? So obviously land is a big one. Runi is a big one. Guilds are a big one. I mean, we want all these other things that have been talked about as well. And then there's tower defense, GLG, but that's a little bit separate. So that's all I wanted to share with you guys today. I want to get your thoughts on Runi. Are you buying at these prices? Are you bullish on Runi? Again, not as an investment vehicle, but as something that will be valuable in the game. Because if you missed out on the whitelist and you missed out on the initial mint, which was available for a full month, right, at 0.38 Ethereum, I mean, you can get one for like 25% off. Again, you're not going to have the magic of minting one and having it be, uniquely your own in the sense of, oh, I minted this and this is mine. But there's some available right now for, 0.279, 0.29 ETH. They don't look terrible. And again, if you don't care about what it looks like, but you care about what it can do when the time comes for all of these different implementations, I think that'll be an interesting conversation to have when it does happen, and I'll be curious to see what it does to the value overall of the floor price on these. So that is all I have for you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I will catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Take care.